Welcome to Nostalgia, Komrade. Today we are looking at Love and Death. That's supposedly a comedy. I just cannot understand who coined Woody Allen a comedian. Seriously, he got all that acclaim and even a freaking statue. He's not even dead yet. He's just not funny. All his movies are basically about that guy with the glasses getting laid. The hot chick is usually his wife at the moment. His character is just useless in most of his movies and could be easily omitted. And even those glasses got a statue of their own. In Kaliningrad, that's in Russia, probably for mocking the country in his 1975 movie Love and Death. All he does in this so-called comedy is long, tedious dialogues in even more boring monologues. At first, I thought he was just mocking some Russian writers, most famous abroad. No, not that one. Dostoevsky and especially Tolstoy have long, boring philosophical monologues in their books. And as even the title, Love and Death, obviously mocks Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment and Tolstoy's War and Peace, I thought those was another parody. But all his movies contain those lengthy, boring dialogues, with Woody Allen being the unnecessary cast. And even when he is missing, the dialogues are still there. Pointless, useless, contain no actual jokes. Not funny. You know why those Tolstoy multi-volume books were so popular? In Tsar Russia, about 1% owned the other 99% as slaves. The 1% didn't have to grow food, cook, clean up, and most importantly, work. If most men were doing some service in the military or government, damsels were completely vacant. There was no TV soap operas or any other entertainment. They went to balls from time to time, but most of the time it was flirting, gossip, and books. So they eagerly read those lengthy volumes as there was no other entertainment. Having that said, let's go to Kranberries. Once again, this is supposed to be a comedy set in Napoleon times, so I won't comment on most of the misplaced artifacts, soldiers' uniforms, and other anachronisms. Just most striking moments.
Spinoza was a Jew.
What's a Jew?
You never saw a Jew. Here, I have some sketches. There are Jews.
No kidding. They all have these horns?
No, this is the Russian Jew. The German Jew has these stripes.
This has some truth. In Tsar Russia, Jews were not allowed to live in cities, and even if they converted to Orthodoxy, their children were not allowed to study in schools. There was practically an isolated Jewish ghetto. And just look what the country turned into when at least some Jews finally sneaked into Russian capital. This dance, Kazachok, is danced by Cossacks and peasants. The people in the movie belong to the 1%, so they dance ball dances, even at open-air events like this. I don't know why the movie concentrates so much on blinis. Blinis are just thin pancakes. The price is also funny. A silver ruble coin of the Napoleon times contained 18 grams of silver. That means the cost of one blin is around 10 modern US dollars. What's wrong with the cross? An Orthodox cross looks like this. Okay, he's putting on warm gloves in bed. Actually, it was European brick houses with fireplaces that were very cold, as no one kept the fire at night. Russian wooden houses with special Russian stoves were very warm, as the stove keeps warm for hours, even the fire is not burning anymore. Okay, I understand this is a Battleship Potemkin parody, but a classical St. Petersburg lion has a ball under his front paw. If the lion falls asleep, he loses the balance and his paw falls onto the ground, waking him up. This is important, as the lions are considered the city's silent guardians. The iconostasis is actually correct. Our Lady, here must be Jesus, and the right icon of the lowest row is always the saint for which the church was built. All Orthodox churches are built for some icon, which gives the name to the church. I can't see clearly, but the pose in the book suggests that's St. Nicholas.
Ho, ho, ho!
Yes, Santa Claus himself. And as the film was shot in Hungary, this is St. Nicholas Church somewhere near Budapest.
And after many trials and tribulations, I have come to the conclusion that the best thing is...
Yes?
blonde 12-year-old girls.
Father.
2 of them were never...
He also got some truth there. As in all other Christian countries, Russia suffered from very low morals of their popes and priests. gorging, drinking, and all kinds of sexual activities, including sodomy, were common even in monasteries, both male and female.
It was time. We found a new friend, Bergikov, the village idiot. Bergikov would sit smiling for days and stroke a little piece of velvet, while Sonia would make him happy by feeding him.
Well, in Russia, people with mental health problems were actually respected. Yes, often people turned for an advice to idiots. That's an example of Christian virtue, as idiots were believed to possess the gift of God's prophecy. Alternatively gifted, as modern political correctness would call them. These God's fools often lived in or near churches, and the central Moscow's cathedral, St. Basil's, is actually named after one of these idiots. On the other hand, that's another proof that the lower is the intellect, the more religious people are. This is a cranberry. The skeleton in a robe with a scythe is a classic Slavonic image of death, and the robe is always black. According to Woody Allen, white makes this image funny. I don't know if anything in the world can make a Woody Allen's movie funny. This completes this review. See you next time.
Yeah. It's worse.